So this is our first promise. We shall reduce mortgage rates to 9.5%, and we shall see that they don't go above that. Now that'll help everyone who's buying his own home. It'll help him now. He'll know where he stands.
As of 2013, the government implemented the bedroom tax. Now, according to Shelter, a housing association based in Bristol, over 490,000 individuals/households are affected by the bedroom tax. Now, it's ethically wrong to charge an individual or a household for a room that's simply uninhabitable. I sat down with Lynn Clark, an ex-civil servant based in Bristol, to discuss the matter.
And I will call it a tax because I don't hold with this thing that it's not a tax, because it works exactly like a tax. We do help individuals, so we have heard of cases where people are being charged bedroom tax for uninhabitable rooms.
Alison in Middlesbrough has 18-year-old twin sons who are both in the army. The Prime Minister's bedroom tax means that while her sons are away, she will be charged more for their bedrooms. She says, "I resent the fact that both my sons are serving and protecting their country, and in return will not have a home to come home to when they are granted their much-needed leave."
There is a useful piece of case law now, which came out at the end of last year, which says that every single time a spare room is judged to be liable to the bedroom tax, it's got to be properly assessed by the council. If there's an appeal, the council have to go and look at it, and they have to see.
It's not really convenient that she has to go to a tribunal about this when it should be really simple.
What's your intention?
For an hour and a half waiting.
Housing shortages in the UK is a growing problem. Houses are in high demand, especially affordable housing. Sue Long at Bristol City Council, who is their planning and development advisor, sat down to talk about the matter and what social renters really wanted.
The difficulty with the right to buy is that we, as a city council, were never able to rebuild that level of accommodation that we've lost. So, and the ideology was fairly sound at the time, to move people into home ownership, fairly similar to what the government are trying to do now, to move people into home ownership at a level they could afford. But most of the money went back to central government rather than coming into the local authority. So that was one issue.
According to the Home Builders Federation, almost 5 million people are on council house waiting lists. 1.6 million children are living in overcrowded, temporary or run-down housing. And on average, a home built today would have to last for 1,100 years because we're not building enough to replace it sooner.
Campbell Robb, Chief Executive of Shelter, a leading non-profit housing organisation, stated we need 250,000 homes to be built every year to keep up with the ever-growing demand. Last year, the UK built 141,000 homes, 109,000 short of what we need.
They need land from us. So usually it's our housing association partners that build. So they need land from us and they need a subsidy from the government, and then they have to borrow money, and then they have to agree what we want them to build, and then they have to go and build it, and all of that just takes forever. So we need less bureaucracy, basically. Their studies have shown them that that's what people in the United Kingdom want, is to own their own home. So they're basing their policies around getting people out of the welfare state and into home ownership. That's what the welfare reform bill is about, and that's what the housing bill is aimed at. So more kind of starter homes, more extending the right to buy. All of that is around moving people into home ownership. So that's what the public want.
It's clear to understand that the UK is just not building houses quick enough. With prices being at an all-time high, as well as caps being put on social tenants' benefits, the affordable housing crisis looks even more impregnable. Andrew Partridge at Roger Sturt Harbour Plus Partners has developed a new method of residential construction that may help the government pick up the pace in affordable home development. By cutting the development time and planning time, Andrew, with the assistance of YMCA Southwest, may have found the solution to combat the affordable housing demand. I met Andrew at his office in London.
It's based on 10 years of previous work, and it's the first time we've done a sort of volumetric unit, which is a unit which comes fully finished. 90% of it's made or manufactured in a factory and then transported to site, so the whole site could be rapidly deployed with these units. Nothing actually, they can be very long-term units. They're using the same bits of material that majority of houses are made of in this country. It just happen to be made in a factory, which gives them, and tolerance is that 1 to 2 mil, not 25 to 30 mil that you get on a standard house. So they should last much better. They've got great U values, got really good acoustic rates. So there's no reason, if they're well maintained like any house, they can last more than the 60 years they're warranted. The idea of everybody having a front door was very important. These people have lived in very confused surroundings. You know, the hostel in Wimbledon is basically a student accommodation of the 1960s with shared bathrooms, very poor space standards. The bedroom you can just basically get a single bed in. And they share communal areas. The communal areas are actually quite nice. So what we want to do is give them a front door, give them the responsibility and the independence of that, give them a separate bedroom with a double bed, a shower, shower, toilet, but also have some social space directly off the front door so they can integrate with their new community. But I think the idea of they're having their own front door rather than sharing a bedroom in a large house and then sharing the facilities is a very sort of great move forwards. And some of these units are the Y Cube, the 26 square metre, we will be using for key workers as well. We've had all sorts of people viewing them, you know, Department of Deputy Prime Minister, and I think everybody felt that they could actually live in them. So it's probably, you know, it's a good unit for everybody to live. We don't want to make it just because these people are challenged that they have to live in a challenging environment, and this hopefully will lead to, you know, more independence. It could be quicker than that actually, because if we have more manufacturers and points of manufacture, that's why we want to make this so that it's a very generic technology, and in the future, you know, we could just multiply the units and get resolutions as soon as possible. And that's why the factory doesn't take very much time to set up. Even you could have everything cut at a central point and then delivered in small pieces and more efficiently to sites, to assembly sites, either on site or near the site, which then that could be done by local people, and all you need is a sort of screw gun and 30 centimetres and a little travelling crane. So we think there's all sorts of different avenues we could look at this.
Using this method?
Using this method, yeah. I mean, the best thing is not to be too prescriptive at the moment, keep an open mind, and we'll find that it has extraordinary other things it can do.
The studio-like apartment is currently being rented at 65% of market value. That is roughly £145 a week. The new housing development was made in partnership with YMCA Southwest. At the end of 2014, YMCA deployed these units in the London Borough of Merton. Y-Cube development consultant Simon Tanner took the time to discuss the Y-Cube potential on site.
So, for the people who are living here now, they've in the main moved in from various different YMCA hostels in Surbiton and in Wimbledon and others in this area. So for them, they've been living in shared accommodation, just having a room, shared kitchen, shared bathroom. Possibly very similar for the people. We have 50-50 nomination rights, so there are also people from Merton Council here. So in the main, people will have been in shared accommodation. So this presents the individual with their first ever own front door, own bathroom and kitchen. So they're in independent living. So in terms of what does it provide for them, what does it present for them? It presents them with the chance that we all want, is to have our own home, not having to share things with people. To do is correct you, they're not prefabricated. The architects would kill you if you called them that. These are volumetric off-site manufacture. So that's the first thing. And the actual precise answer to your question, are you going to see more of these? Yes, if we have our way. We've just created a business venture with RSHP, who are our architects, with ACON and with our manufacturer, with a view to rolling out more Y-Cube developments like this, with other YMCAs and with local authorities, and we're already in discussions with a number of YMCAs and local authorities about replicating this sort of development, not slavishly doing exactly the same, because we want every solution to be bespoke to wherever it's going, but using the Y-Cube as a model.
The method itself.
Yeah.
Interesting. Going forward, we need to really consider what the Y-Cube or the method itself could do for families and individuals across seas. Take the jungle in Calais, for example. The self-builds there are simply not durable to survive the severe weather conditions the border presents. Instead of the British government putting money into a police force that violently attack these migrants, maybe they should put money into these migrants' shelter, housing projects.